Imagine the soft glow of chandeliers in one of those upscale Chicago steakhouses, where the air smells of aged beef and old money. That's where it all cracked open for me. Emily Carter, sitting at the end of a long mahogany table surrounded by the people who were supposed to be my blood. My safety net. But on that night, as the waiter poured another round of vintage Bordeaux that I'd inevitably foot the bill for, I felt the weight of 5 years pressing down like a vice on my chest. My father, Harold, leaned back in his chair, his custom-tailored suit hugging his frame at 62, his graying temples giving him that distinguished look he cultivated like a prized garden. He hadn't worked a real job since the market crash wiped out his consulting firm, but you'd never know it from the way he swirled his wine, sniffing it like he was entitled to every drop. "How's the firm treating you, Em?" he asked, his voice smooth. But I knew the subtext. It was always about the next handout, the next loan that never got repaid. My mother, Vivian, sat beside him, her manicured nails tapping lightly on the stem of her glass, her Botox-smooth face hiding the calculations running behind her hazel eyes. At 59, she still turned heads at the country club luncheon she lived for, her pearl earrings catching the light as she smiled that practiced smile. "Emily, sweetheart," she cooed. "Did I tell you about Lila and her fiancé's big news? They're eyeing this stunning venue in Napa Valley." And there it was. The hook. My younger sister Lila beamed from across the table, her 2-carat solitaire engagement ring flashing like a beacon. At 26, she was the golden child, the one whose life was a highlight reel of social media posts. No real career, but plenty of aspirations tied to her trust fund boyfriend, Trent Whitaker. He nodded along, his Ivy League polish masking a personality as bland as unsalted crackers. My older brother, Marcus, and his partner, Sophia, exchanged subtle glances. Marcus, 33, had always been the family's outlier, the artist who ditched the corporate path to teach painting classes at a community college. Sophia squeezed his knee under the table, her quiet support a rare island in this sea of expectations. Aunt Clara nursed her gin and tonic, her eyes darting around like she was watching a rerun of a bad soap opera she couldn't escape. "The venue sounds like a dream," Vivian pressed on, her voice lilting with that faux excitement. "Vineyards, ocean views, a celebrity chef. It's Lila's fairy tale. Just needs that $12,000 deposit to lock it in." She paused, her gaze locking onto mine like a laser. "I'll text you the details." The table went quiet, forks hovering midair, everyone waiting for me to nod, to pull out my phone and make the transfer. I'd been doing it for years, covering their mortgages, their emergencies, their luxuries, ever since I landed my role as a lead financial consultant in the Loop, pulling 6 figures while drowning in student debt from Northwestern. But that night, something inside me, a frayed wire finally sparking, refused. I set my glass down carefully, the clink echoing louder than it should. "Actually," I said, my voice even but edged with steel, "I can't do that. I'm focusing on my own savings now, building a future that's mine." The silence hit like a thunderclap. Trent suddenly studied his steak knife. Marcus's eyes widened in silent applause. Even the busboy veered away, sensing the storm. Harold barked a laugh, too loud, drawing stares from nearby tables. "Savings? That's rich coming from you. Your role is to provide, Emily. Or have you forgotten you're the family's golden goose?" The table erupted in nervous chuckles, everyone except Marcus and Sophia, turning his cruelty into some twisted joke. I froze, the laughter slicing through me like shards of glass. Suddenly, I was 12 again, at our oak dining table in the suburbs, Vivian assigning roles like a casting director. "Marcus is the creative soul," she'd say. tousling his hair. Lila's our little star. A peck on her cheek. Then to me, but you. Emily. You're the responsible one. Our rock. The memory twisted. Pulling me to 25. Fresh out of grad school. When the phone rang at midnight. Vivian's voice. Frail and trembling over hospital beeps. Emily. The doctors say stress could end me. If we lose the house. It's on you. That temporary mortgage help? It became permanent. Chaining me to their lifestyle while I scraped by in a studio apartment. The flashback dissolved, leaving me staring at their smirking faces. But 3 months of quiet therapy sessions had sharpened something raw inside me, a blade forged from exhaustion and betrayal. I smiled back. Not my usual compliant grin, but something icy, unyielding. You're right, Dad. A golden goose shouldn't lay eggs forever. I pulled out my phone, fingers flying across the screen under their widening eyes. Canceling the $3,500 auto payment for your mortgage. Done. Blocking your numbers from my banking apps. Done. Vivian's face paled to ash. Harold's flushed crimson. I tossed my credit card onto the table. This covers my share. Handle the rest yourselves. Harold shot up, his chair scraping back. You selfish brat, after all we've sacrificed. I rose too, feeling a surge of height I never knew I had. Sacrifices? I funded my own education. I've bankrolled your denial. No more. I walked out, the restaurant's hush following me like a shadow. The cool night air rushing in like liberation. For the first time, my lungs expanded fully, uncrushed. The cab ride home was a battlefield in my pocket, my phone exploding with texts like incoming fire. Vivian, you'll destroy me. Emily. Is that your goal? Harold, end this nonsense now. Lila, you've wrecked my wedding, how could you? My hands trembled. Adrenaline crashing with doubt. I'd never rebelled like this. Not in 30 years of being the good one. But then a message pierced the chaos from Marcus. That took guts. You okay? Simple words. But from my brother, who'd always floated above the fray. They ignited a spark of warmth amid the cold fear. Someone saw me. Finally. Next morning, I faked a sick day, not entirely false. The nausea from their barrage twisting my gut. Instead of suits and spreadsheets, I headed to my financial planner's office in jeans and a hoodie. Sarah Klein had managed my portfolio since my first promotion, never blinking at the outflows labeled family support. Now, her brow furrowed at my urgent email. Emily, talk to me. I laid it out, audit everything. Every cent drained over 5 years. 2 hours later, the spreadsheet stared back like a confession. $280,000 gone. Not counting the gifts, the dinners. The endless, just this once, please. But Sarah clicked to another tab, her voice dropping. This is worse. Credit report shows cards and a loan you never opened, $50,000 total. All routed to your parents' address in Oak Park. The world spun. Identity theft. Felony-level fraud. Harold, the once respected consultant who'd rather play golf than take a demeaning job. Vivian, with her timed health scares that always coincided with my resistance. They'd not just leached, they'd stolen my future. Rage solidified into resolve. I called my therapist. Dr. Reyes, need a lawyer referral. Someone ruthless. She gave me Elena Vasquez, a bulldog in financial crime cases. By afternoon, I'd frozen accounts, filed fraud alerts. The text shifted from fury to frenzy. The card declined. What did you do? Banks calling about foreclosure. I ignored them. Each silence building my armor. This wasn't flight anymore, it was fight. Monday dawned with the missed mortgage deadline. Voicemails flooded in, Vivian sobbing. The stress is killing me. Emily, after carrying you 9 months, Delete. Harold growling, "You're ripping us apart." Delete. By evening, the buzzer rang, Harold pounding at my lobby door. Disheveled. Yelling at the security guard, "Let me up, I'm her father." I watched on the app. His entitlement crumbling as the guard threatened cops. A note slipped under my door later. UOS. Fix it. Underlined viciously. I filed it as evidence. The knot in my stomach uncoiling into steel. Therapy that Wednesday, Dr. Reyes listened as I recounted. No tears this time, just fire. They abused me, I said. Emotionally. Financially. She nodded. You're not the villain here. You're emerging from survival mode. Strategist. She called me. It fit. Meeting Elena Thursday, her office was a war room of stacked files. Parents draining $280,000, plus $50,000 fraud? We've got them. We built the case, affidavits, statements, texts, voicemails, even lobby footage. Each piece stripped away my guilt, revealing their manipulation. By next week, my file was a fortress. I dialed them from Elena's office. Recorded. One meeting. Here. Tomorrow. 10 a.m. Vivian's relief shattered when I hung up. They arrived puffed with indignation, Vivian in her pearls. Harold stiff-backed. This rebellion ends now, he started. Elena slid the police report. Identity theft filed. $50,000 fraud. DA's involved. Their faces collapsed, Vivian's to pallor. Harold's to fury. Family matter, he bellowed. Tears from Vivian, after our sacrifices. But the old hooks bounced off me. Elena laid out terms. Probation if you repay $50,000 by a house sale. Escrow handles it. Trapped. They signed. Harold muttering threats that rang hollow. Vivian whispered, "How will we survive?" My reply, "Not my burden." The knot in me loosened forever. The Oak Park Colonial sold fast, friends gossiping. Their silence deafening. Marcus called. They're broken, tried me for cash. I said no. Peace settled. Not vengeance's thrill. Months later, Lila fled to Seattle. Waitressing. Marcus and I grew close. I bought a loft overlooking Millennium Park with the restitution. Freedom. 18 months on, my loft buzzes with a housewarming real friends. Laughter untethered. Phone rings. Harold. Voice cracked. Need help with rent. I echo, not my problem. Hang up. Block. I'm Emily now whole. Uno wed.